Good afternoon. I am Dr. Michael J. Martirano, the Superintendent of Schools for the Howard County Public School System. Early this morning, we were alerted to the presence of graffiti of a hateful nature at Glenelg High School. The school system has been collaborating with the Howard County Police in the investigation, and charges will be brought against any perpetrators. Students and staff were distressed at finding the graffiti when they arrived at school today. Student services staff at the school are providing support as needed. Howard County stands out as a place are cherished. This incident underscores the urgent need to come together to reinforce our shared values and make clear that we will neither condone nor tolerate this type of hateful expression. We denounce unequivocally any act of hate. We have reached out to our communities affected by this incident, and I thank the leaders of those communities who are here and pledge to continue to work with you to address the tolerance. I also thank our elected officials for being here, for their ongoing partnership and support, and let me acknowledge the unification of the individuals here on very short notice who are standing behind me. It shows our commitment as Howard Countyans. Reverend Turner from St. John's the Baptist Church, Hector Garcia representing Firm, Rabbi Grossman representing Beth Shalom, Alan Kittleman, our county executive, Willie Flowers, president of the NAACP, Mary Kay Siggety, president of the county council, Chief Gardner, our chief of police, Kevin Gilbert, standing behind me, our director of diversity and acceptance and inclusion, Ananta Hijibu, one of our Board of Education members, James Lamont, my community and outreach personnel individual, Councilman member Greg Fox, Larry Walker, representing the African American Roundtable, Cindy Valancourt, chairman of the Board of Education, Calvin Ball, representative of the County Council, and Bess Altwerger, one of our Board of Education members. To see this level of commitment is overwhelmingly positive as we respond to such a negative event. Once again, let me make some other statements. Our school system has made progress over the last year in building cultural proficiency and strengthening our work to ensuring diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are embracing this at the very basic level in our classroom every day, where we want every child accepted in an environment where they can feel free to be themselves and who they are. No one should experience any form of hate in our classrooms or within our school community. And let me state for the record that as superintendent, I will hold people accountable to the individuals who are responsible for any act of hate within our school system, to our code of conduct, up to the level of expulsion. And those cases will be directly given to me because it is my responsibility to execute those kind of acts in terms of accountability. We are making great progress under the leadership of Dr. Kevin Gilbert, our Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. However, incidents such as this remind us that we still have work to do. There are individuals out there who want to perpetuate hate, and we're going to annihilate that with our kindness, compassion, and love. I call on every member of our community to join us in standing up for the dignity and value of each individual, taking a stand against injustice and hatred, and exemplifying through our words and actions the values that Howard County stands for, to respect and honor each individual within our community. And let me state personally, I've been an educator for over 30 years. We work hard every day to ensure that our children are safe and protected. No child, no staff member within our inclusive community should ever feel any form of threat, harassment, or any form of hate. Today's incident is extremely harsh in terms of what I've witnessed based upon the pictures that I've seen, and I will be heading to the school later today. We have an African American principal at the school who was a target of this, which then, in my estimation, rises to the level of a hate crime. We will not tolerate this in Howard County or in the Howard County Public School System. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Chief of Police, who is going to make some additional statements and some information of which we've just found out. I'm sorry.
He's to your left.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Dr. Martirano. Just prior to this press conference, we learned some information regarding the investigation. As stated earlier this morning, we were notified by school officials that there was a significant amount of graffiti up at the school, on the parking lot, sidewalks, and on many sides of the building. Racial epithets, bias-related, anti-Semitic, things that were directed at the principal of the high school. We immediately began an investigation. The school SRO assigned to that school was on location with additional support. And as a result of the investigation so far this morning, just prior to this press briefing, 3 people were taken into custody. They are being interviewed at this time and being taken to central booking. They are adults and they are students of that school. The investigation is ongoing. It's very, very active, so I'm not able to comment any further on those details. However, later this afternoon, we will provide additional information on the identity of those individuals and also the charges that they face. And that's all I can provide at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. At this moment, we will be open to any questions that you may have. And again, let me emphasize that this is the start of our graduation season, a time for celebration. And as I stated, we will not let this mar or taint the good name of Howard County or our school system as we celebrate the wonderful accomplishments of the students who will be graduating in our school system during this week. We're now open for any questions that you may have of any individuals up here. Kate?
Does Glenelg have outdoor security cameras?
They do, and we can give you the specific amounts of which we do. Understand that part of our surveillance is the enhancements of cameras in any form of communication. And when you're dealing with young people at schools and some things such as this occur, the best form of follow-up is oftentimes our young people will talk. And so it's important that we have open communication with all of our teachers, with all of our staff members and all of our community members. And I'm asking if any member of our community has additional information on anything like this at any given time, that they report that directly to me and to my office.
Did the cameras catch the incident on footage?
I don't have the exact information on that, but I would suspect that they did, and I'll be briefed on that after this press conference.
We're hearing this was some kind of senior prank. Can you confirm that?
Well, I'm going to react vehemently to that. That's an interesting definition of the word prank. That is beyond belief if one would think that that would be a prank. That falls into a category of hate, would never be perceived as something as a prank. If you could witness what I witnessed this morning and seeing the pictures of the things that were written, the symbols, the displays, it's absolutely intolerable that one would do something and define it as a prank. I think not.
And the 3 suspects taken into custody, you mentioned they were adults, students. Are they just like 18-year-old students? Are they adults involved?
Chief can answer that, but as we define an adult, it would be somebody over 18 regarding that, but also understand that the law enforcement pieces will kick in, as the chief has just talked, but also there's an accountability level for the school system as well in terms of our code of conduct. And once again, let me emphasize, for any future possible incident that may occur, I will execute that to the highest level up to expulsion.
Were the 3 individuals male?
Yes.
You talked to the principal today?
I have communicated with the principal. Let us understand that we have an incredible human being leading our school, Mr. Burton. His primary focus, as I communicated with him via email this morning, was based upon the fact of running his school. We have an award ceremony today at the school, and also we just received last night word that our girls lacrosse team were defined as state champions. So this morning, to have all those celebratory issues being dealt with, and a man who's been under attack based upon things that have been written specifically about him, his courageous leadership, that he's leading his school. He addressed this in the assembly this morning, and I was so pleased with how the community, the student body embraced him with a standing ovation. His focus today is running the school. I asked him to be here today, but recognizing he needs to run the school, he is a man of dignity and strength, and we're all rallying around him to support him.
Are these all seniors?
We'll provide more information this afternoon. This just you have to understand, this just unfolded about 30 minutes before this briefing.
You characterize this in that you see as a hate crime. Is it officially being dealt with as a hate crime by the police department?
We're investigating this as a hate crime, yes.
Has all the graffiti been removed at this point?
understand the nature of this. I have been an educator for many years. I've served as a high school principal, middle school assistant principal, and a principal in elementary school in large different communities all across the nation. I have never seen this amount of graffiti at one school, and it takes an incredible amount of work to remove that, no matter how much equipment that you have and how much people power that you have. And our staff responded by even covering it up today with blankets and duct tape so that our community members who were coming to the school did not have to see it. It's going to take an incredible amount of time, and also there would be consideration of retribution for the payments considered for this to the individuals involved with this once we continue our investigation. So I'm being very clear about this when I say that individuals who want to remotely engage in this kind of activity are going to be held accountable to the highest level based upon our code of student conduct, by involvement with our law enforcement, and then any kind of retribution that has to occur as well. We will do that, and I'm extremely disturbed by what I saw today.
Is there an increased police presence at the school today?
Obviously, there's additional officers because of the investigation, yes.
In order, like, for the safety of the students and staff, is there additional?
There's additional police at the school today, yes.
So equity inclusion is a huge core tenet of your
Absolutely.
work. How is this incident being dealt with in the classroom with students today? How is it being talked about?
Once again, as we look to shift the culture to a restorative culture, where we look at everything as a teachable moment, we are discussing this with our students. We have provided guidance to our, obviously working with the principal and our teachers. We're not going to just turn our eyes to this. We're using it as an opportunity to teach our young people. Discussions are occurring in our classroom. And I also sent a message to every one of our staff members in the school system this morning, letting them know what occurred, because from my vantage point as a leader of this school system, we need to let people know what's happening, how we're responding, and my goal, ultimately, working with all the leaders behind me, is to ensure that they never happen again and use it as a teachable moment, and to use this as an emblematic moment with our students in the classroom. And very clearly, it is a core tenet of our overall vision for the school system, and we're not going to stop. We're going to continue with that vision in a very firm way.
This was damage to property, but do you have a message to any students who may have hateful expressions on social media?
Absolutely. I mean, once again, I have zero tolerance for any form of hate in any way where another human being is harassed or denigrated based upon their creed, their background, their religion, color, whatever it may be. We have anti-discrimination policies. We have laws. We're going to make certain that they're not just words, that individuals are held accountable. And I'm asking young people to think. Think before you post something. Think before you engage in an activity that can have life-transforming ramifications for you. I'm asking our parents, once again, get involved with your child's social media. Monitor their accounts. Monitor their history. Be the parents that you're expected to be in terms of as a primary teacher. And that means full engagement and monitor, because young people have a very powerful tool in their possession of social media and technology, and if not used properly, can cause harm and damage. And so my message is very firm and very clear and very direct. Yes, we will not tolerate it, and we'll make certain that we follow up on anything that we see, and we're doing that with the collaboration of all the leaders that we have here and our school system staff, teachers, principals, etc. We will not tolerate it in Howard County.
Going back to the security cameras real quick, does every high school have exterior security cameras?
We have cameras in all of our high schools. I can give you a breakdown of what those numbers are. I think Mr. McNeil is somewhere here for some additional follow-up. But we're also working, as you can see, with our county leaders here with additional support for funding to the tune of $1.1 million to address some of our other concerns. Additional consideration of $1.4 million for also enhancements. All of this works together to make certain we have a secure environment, one, from the vantage point of the hardware, but also I want young people to feel safe and secure in their environments, free of being bullied, free of having names called, and any form of hate that comes at them. And that goes through the process of training, and we're starting that at the preschool level with engagement of inclusion and respecting each other's differences and celebrating that and accepting, not tolerating, but accepting and valuing. That's the beautiful thing about in Howard County. We discuss these things, and we want to use it as a teachable moment to move forward with our young people to prevent this. And we all have work to do, but we're striving to be a model for the nation.
Could I ask a question to Howard County Executive Glenelg?
Sure.
In your statement, you mentioned that your daughter is actually a teacher there. Did you speak to her about this incident? Did she say that, there had been any prior incidents like this before? Did this come out of the blue?
It's a weird situation today about that. Tomorrow, my daughter's getting married. Today, we are going to be celebrating the rehearsal dinner and the rehearsal, and we'll still do that. And so she's not at school today. And she was with the bridesmaids and my other daughter who's a maid of honor last night. So I haven't talked to her, I've texted with her, but I'm angry. This is our school. All 4 of my kids went to that school, and my daughter teaches there. That's not the Glenelg community, folks. I want to tell you really strong, that's not our Glenelg community. There's some people there that are hateful and bigoted, and we can't tolerate it. I appreciate Dr. Martirano's comments, but I'm just mad. I'm mad, I'm angry. This is where I live. I could walk to this school. We can't have this happen in Howard County. We can't have it happen in Glenelg, and we need to stand strong. And that's why I'm so happy to see so many people here from all different faiths, ethnicities, races, whatever, because we're all staying together against hate, and it's not going to be tolerated. It's not going to be accepted. We're going to make sure that these people are held accountable to the fullest extent of the law, and to let the rest of the community know that we're going to work together and be united. So, but yeah, it's a strange situation for me because of her wedding coming up.
But I have a question for you as well.
Yeah.
In your statement, you mentioned wanting to do a One Howard event specifically in response to this. What might that be?
Well, we certainly are working on that. David Lee, who coordinates that for me, is here today. We'll be working with the school system, Dr. Gilbert and others. We need to have a conversation in that community. There's no question about it. Reverend Turner was talking about that earlier. My family has a long history of civil rights here in Howard County. I get really frustrated. I had breakfast with Mr. Flowers the other day. I get very frustrated when I think about all the people who have sacrificed in our community to make our community what it is today, and we still have work to do. That is frustrating, folks. So we are going to make sure that we get the community together, the Glenelg community, but also the greater Howard County community. You know, this isn't just specific to a school. It happened at a school, but this is not specific to a school. We need to all be get together in a community, and I'm confident with the folks here and with the school system and our community together, we're going to continue to get better. But I expect that we'll have a discussion, some kind of a dialogue, some kind of a time for people to express themselves.
Okay.
Pastor Turner, this is certainly not the first incident that's been in the county at some of the high schools. What's happened since then, and what might happen from this point on in terms of discussions and the like?
This type of situation, as both the superintendent and the county executive has shared, it's just unacceptable. This is not the first time our county has experienced hate crimes. This is not the first time that groups of people have been targeted. But our coming together today is an illustration that there's work to do. And while we are in this graduation season, we're going to take this as an opportunity to not just stand together, but continue to come together, to work together, to find what gaps exist within the school system and what opportunities exist for the community and the school system and the police department and the county government to work together so that we can reduce these hate crimes and so that we can increase the level of civility and unity that really defines Howard County.
Going back to the initial incident, who initially found the community and at what time?
So I was briefed early this morning, as I am on many events that occur in our school system, and our building service staff, who arrived very early in the morning, were the ones to alert us and then activated our entire leadership team regarding that. So we responded immediately. The questions that I was asking when I found out about that was how quickly can we respond to cover it up, to clean it up, making certain we have all the accountability measures in place. And our building service staff was the one who reported it.
What time did they get
I can get you the precise time, but I know that I received a notification very early this morning, around 6:30 or so.
Can you give us an idea? You mentioned that several locations around the school, sidewalk,
Yeah.
buildings. What can you
Yeah,
give
well,
us an idea of what area?
That's when I'm going to react one more time and use this as an opportunity. This was not a prank. I mean, that's a sick mind who's thinking that that might be a prank, because the fact there was nothing left basically unturned. Sidewalks, trash cans, bricks, outbuildings, everything that possibly could be available with spray paint, et cetera, and some very graphic, poignant representations. No group seemed to be spared from this piece.
Any estimate on cost in terms of cleanup, replacement?
I will make certain that we chronicle that, because there will be I've had to pull staff right now. Keep in mind that we're about to engage in one of the most significant events of our school community. I will be in front of 50,000 people to 60,000 people by the end of our graduation season. We are putting on our graduations at Meriwether. We're pulling all of our staff to address this. This kind of event pulls our staff from the work they need to do to prepare for our graduations and other things that occur within our schools. So I will be chronicling the amount of time, the personnel, the amount of equipment and energy that has gone, not to mention the defacement of the property, that some of it might have to be actually replaced as far as the removal. There'll be scars of that remaining, and I want it removed completely so there's no reminders of this event. I will get you the cost.
You said that you're headed over to Glenelg later today. What's your plan for when you get there?
Support, compassion, care, kindness, letting people know that we will not tolerate this, the same message that I'm conveying here, to let people know that we're all in this together, that when one individual within our community is harmed, we all feel it, and we're all harmed, and we're not going to tolerate it. I mean, this is an incredible representation of support behind me, but also the fact of the communications that occurred to all of our employees today. Everybody's hurt. Everywhere I've been today, people have been asking about it, and very encouraging. Continue to do what's necessary so that we can eradicate this. We're better than this. And we want to put our best foot forward to be the model for not just the state of Maryland, but for the nation. And I'm convinced that we can be. But it's how do we respond when bad things happen, which defines us. We cannot prevent a lot of things from happening, but what we can do is when bad things do happen, how we respond. And so today my goal is to show support and to listen and to ensure individuals that we're going to do everything that we can to hold people accountable. I don't have a formal process. My goal, you've been with me, it's very organic and very informal, and to engage where that takes me. I will make certain I meet as many of our staff members that I can, and I have other things planned as well as I visit the school today, but also do not want to be a disruption to the overall school day in that sense. But our community needs to see love, care, and compassion, and in the end, that will be the only thing truly that will annihilate hate. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today. I appreciate your time, and this ends our press conference today. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so sorry that you guys targeted again.